close your eyes. For a moment, the noise of human life dissolves. No engines, no voices, no restless machinery of civilization. Only stillness. Then, from somewhere beyond sight, a single sound emerges. A fragile note trembling in the cool breath of dawn. A bird. Not merely singing, but announcing survival. Because in the wild, every morning is earned. Every song is a victory over darkness, hunger, cold, and fear. Across mountains carved by time, across forests older than memory, across wetlands veiled in mist, billions of delicate lives awaken in unison. Feathers ignite with motion, wings prepare for flight, voices rise. What we hear as beauty is a language of urgency, a symphony composed by evolution itself. This is not just music. This is the sound of a living planet fighting to endure. And for the next 10 minutes, you are no longer an observer. You are inside the heartbeat of nature. Before the sun ignites the sky, before shadows surrender their hold on the land, there exists a silence so vast it feels eternal. Across the sleeping earth, landscapes lie suspended in darkness. Ancient forests breathe in slow, invisible rhythms. Mountain peaks stand frozen against a star-filled sky. Wetlands rest beneath drifting veils of mist. The world is motionless, yet never still, because even in the quietest hour life waits. And then, a sound, soft, precise, unmistakably alive. A single bird call breaks the darkness. It is not hesitation, it is proclamation. Night has passed, life continues. As the horizon blushes with fragile color, the planet awakens in gradients of gold and violet. The air cool and delicate, untouched by the violence of midday heat. Moisture clings to leaves like liquid glass. Wind stirs gently through grasslands. Clouds drift over jagged ridgelines. And suddenly the silence fractures. Birdsong erupts. Not as chaos, but as orchestration. From treetop canopies to riverbanks, from rocky cliffs to hidden marshes, voices rise in layered complexity. Each note carries intention, territory, identity warning, desire. This is the dawn chorus, one of nature's most powerful daily events. What we hear as beauty is, in truth, survival in motion. Birdsong does not merely fill the world. It is shaped by it. In dense tropical rainforests, where humidity thickens the air and vegetation absorbs vibration, calls evolve into intricate, rapid melodies. Sounds must weave through tangled branches and colossal trunks. Here, precision is everything. A misplaced note may never travel. A weak call may never be heard. In mountain ecosystems, thin air transforms sound into something sharper, more piercing. Calls must travel across vast, broken terrain, echoing through valleys, ricocheting off stone. Voices grow bold, commanding. In wetlands, sound behaves differently still. Water reflects and carries tones across surprising distances. Lower frequencies ripple smoothly over glassy surfaces. Every environment becomes an acoustic battlefield. Every species must adapt. Birds are among the first to greet the day. Their internal clocks synchronize with light itself. Dawn offers critical advantages. Cool air stabilizes sound waves, allowing calls to travel farther. Predators remain sluggish after the cold of night. Energy reserves are freshly restored. In these precious moments, birds reaffirm their existence. I am here. I survived. This space is mine. For creatures whose bodies weigh less than a whisper of wind, survival is a daily negotiation with danger. Every sunrise is victory. Every song is proof of endurance. To human eyes, birds appear effortless, drifting through skies, suspended in elegance. But beneath that grace lies extraordinary biological engineering. Hollow bones reduce weight without sacrificing structural strength. Feathers regulate temperature, repel water, enable flight. Muscles burn energy with astonishing efficiency. Metabolisms race at speeds that defy imagination. A tiny songbird may consume half its body weight in food each day. A relentless quest for fuel. Because in the wild, energy is life, and life is never guaranteed. Across the planet's varied climates, birds evolve strategies as diverse as the landscapes they inhabit. In arid deserts, where daytime heat scorches the earth and water is scarce, survival demands discipline. Birds forage in the cool hours of dawn. They conserve moisture with remarkable efficiency. Some extract hydration entirely from seeds and insects. In frozen environments, where temperatures plunge below survival thresholds, insulation becomes critical. Layers of down feathers trap warmth. Blood circulation adjusts to preserve vital organs. Behavior shifts to minimize energy loss. Even song evolves as adaptation. Pitch changes to cut through environmental noise. Rhythms adjust for clarity and distance. Calls become tools of survival, shaped by physics and necessity. Nature refines without mercy. Only the effective endure. To the human ear, birdsong evokes serenity. But beneath the melody lies tension. Every call is a negotiation. Competitors challenge territorial boundaries. Mates evaluate strength and vitality. Predators listen from unseen shadows. A louder, clearer, more complex song may determine access to food, shelter, or reproduction. Silence, in many cases, is extinction. Sound becomes identity. Sound becomes survival. As morning light strengthens, movement accelerates across the landscape, and with it, danger awakens. Eyes peer from dense undergrowth. Wings slice silently through the air. Scales glide across sun-warmed stone. For every singing bird, countless predators wait. Raptors scan from above with lethal precision. Mammals stalk with patience carved by evolution. Reptiles strike with explosive force. The chore, us of dawn, is not merely celebration. It is risk. To sing is to reveal location. To forage is to invite exposure. Survival demands constant vigilance. Birds are not isolated performers in nature's drama. They are vital threads within complex ecological networks. They disperse seeds across continents. They regulate insect populations. They shape entire habitats through feeding behaviors. Remove the birds, and ecosystems begin to unravel. Forests lose regeneration. Pests surge unchecked. Balances collapse. Their songs are more than sound. They are indicators of planetary health. But something is shifting. Across many landscapes, the ancient rhythms of dawn grow quieter. Habitats shrink beneath expanding human development. Forests retreat before agriculture and industry. Wetlands vanish under concrete and pollution. Climate patterns destabilize. Seasons blur. Temperatures fluctuate unpredictably. Food cycles fracture. Birds, exquisitely tuned to environmental precision, feel these disruptions first. Migration routes falter. Breeding cycles misalign. Survival strategies strain. The chorus weakens. For millennia, nature's symphony has persisted. Reliable, eternal, unbreakable. Yet its continuity has never been guaranteed. It survives through balance, a delicate equilibrium forged over unimaginable spans of time. Now, that balance trembles. The forces reshaping the planet are swift, relentless, unprecedented. And the smallest voices often bear the greatest burden. As the sun climbs higher, the intensity of birdsong softens. The frantic urgency of dawn yields to the harsh realities of daylight. Heat rises. Winds strengthen. Predators hunt with renewed energy. The struggle continues, unseen, unending. But for a fleeting moment, in that fragile window between darkness and day, the planet sang. A reminder that life persists not through certainty, but through resilience. And the story of survival has only just begun. Where beauty meets brutality, as daylight tightens its grip on the world, the gentle poetry of dawn gives way to a harsher truth. Nature is not a sanctuary. It is an arena. The melodies that once floated effortlessly through the morning air now compete with urgency. Sharper, faster, edged with tension. Because survival in the wild is never passive. It is relentless. For birds, the rising sun signals a biological countdown. Metabolisms blaze like living furnaces. Energy reserves, so carefully restored overnight, burn rapidly. Every heartbeat consumes fuel. Every wingbeat demands resources. And so begins the daily hunt. Across forests, grasslands, wetlands, and deserts, birds scatter into motion, probing bark, scanning soil, diving into water, slicing through air. Food is life, but food is never guaranteed. Insects hide beneath leaves and soil. Seeds lie concealed within protective shells. Nectar blooms only briefly. Prey vanishes with shifting temperatures. Even abundance is deceptive. What appears plentiful today may disappear tomorrow. No resource exists without rivalry. Within dense ecosystems, competition is constant, unforgiving. Birds clash not with violence alone, but with speed, agility, strategy. A faster dive secures the insect. A sharper turn wins the seed. A more dominant presence claims the territory. Some species evolve extraordinary specializations. Precision beaks for extracting hidden prey. Wing shapes designed for explosive acceleration. Acute vision capable of detecting microscopic movement. Nature does not reward equality. It rewards advantage. But even the most skilled hunter may become the hunted. Across the skies, shadows patrol with lethal grace. Raptors, engineered for pursuit, dominate the aerial battlefield. Their eyesight, many times sharper than human vision, detects the faintest motion from astonishing distances. A slight flicker in tall grass, a subtle vibration in foliage, and the chase begins. Wings collapse into aerodynamic efficiency. Talons extend with surgical precision. For the prey, escape becomes mathematics. Speed versus acceleration. Agility versus momentum. Instinct versus inevitability. A fraction of a second determines fate. To survive this relentless pressure, birds evolve remarkable defensive strategies. Camouflage that dissolves bodies into landscape. Erratic flight patterns that disrupt pursuit calculations. Alarm calls that ripple through entire communities. Some species synchronize movement, forming vast flocks that twist and pulse like living clouds. Confusion as defense. Others rely on stillness, absolute immobility, trusting invisibility over escape. Every adaptation emerges from necessity. Every success measured in continued existence. Yet predators are only one threat among many. The environment itself can become an adversary. Heat waves transform landscapes into furnaces. Storms unleash violence across fragile habitats. Cold snaps drain energy reserves beyond recovery. Climate, once predictable, cyclical, reliable, now grows erratic. Temperatures surge beyond historical limits. Rainfall patterns fracture. Seasons blur into uncertainty. Birds, whose survival strategies depend on environmental precision, face destabilization at a planetary scale. Migration queues falter. Food cycles collapse. Breeding windows misalign. Nature's timing disrupted. For countless species, survival demands movement across continents. Migration is among nature's most extraordinary phenomena. Epic journeys guided by instinct, celestial navigation, magnetic fields invisible to human senses. Thousands of kilometers. Across oceans. Across deserts. Across hostile terrain. These voyages are not optional. They are survival itself. Birds depart shrinking food sources, racing toward distant abundance. But migration is fraught with danger, exhaustion, predation, storm systems of devastating scale, and increasingly human obstacles. Across the globe, natural pathways fracture beneath expanding civilization. Forests yield to urban sprawl. Wetlands drain for development. Grasslands convert to agriculture. Glass towers rise along ancient flyways. Artificial lights disorient nocturnal travelers. Noise pollution drowns critical communication. For migrating birds, the planet becomes a maze of invisible hazards. Collisions with structures. Disrupted navigation. Habitat loss at vital resting points. What once were safe passages now resemble gauntlets. Sound, The very tool birds rely upon for survival now competes with a new force: human noise. Engines, machinery, traffic, industry. Across ecosystems, anthropogenic sound reshapes acoustic environments. Birds struggle to communicate over low-frequency rumble. Calls lose clarity. Warnings go unheard. Some species adapt by altering pitch, singing higher, louder, faster. But adaptation has limits. Not all voices can change, and silence spreads where communication fails. Beyond immediate disruptions, a larger force gathers momentum. Climate change. Rising global temperatures alter entire ecosystems. Insects emerge earlier or vanish entirely. Flowering cycles shift unpredictably. Water sources shrink or flood. Habitats migrate poleward. Weather extremes intensify. Birds, exquisitely sensitive to environmental stability, become early witnesses to planetary transformation. Population declines ripple across regions. Migration patterns destabilize. Extinction edges closer for vulnerable species. Nature's balance strains. And yet, life persists. Birds adjust behaviors, modify routes, exploit new niches. Evolution, though slow, continues its relentless work. Some species expand into newly viable territories. Others innovate feeding strategies. Many endure conditions once thought impossible. Resilience defines survival, but resilience is not invincibility. As the day advances, the struggle intensifies. Hunger competes with danger. Adaptation races against change. Ancient instincts confront unprecedented disruption. Nature remains magnificent, but it is no longer untouched. The symphony continues, yet beneath the music, tension grows. Because survival, once dictated solely by natural forces, now faces a new, unpredictable influence: us. And the consequences are only beginning to unfold. For countless generations, Earth's rhythms have seemed eternal. Dawn follows darkness, seasons follow cycles. Birdsong follows sunrise. A continuity so reliable, it feels indestructible. Yet nature's balance has never been fixed. It is a living system, delicate, responsive, vulnerable. And now, that balance trembles. Across continents, the signals of change grow impossible to ignore. Glaciers retreat from ancient mountain strongholds. Wetlands shrink beneath rising temperatures. Forests fracture into isolated fragments. The atmosphere itself, once stable, predictable, now shifts with unsettling volatility. Storms intensify. Heat waves lengthen. Rainfall patterns distort. For birds whose survival depends on precision timing, even subtle disruption can cascade into crisis. Food sources emerge too early or too late. Migration cues lose reliability. Breeding cycles misalign with ecological opportunity. Nature's clock, destabilized,